Alright, welcome back. In this video I'm going to discuss the issue that I've been alluding to in the last couple of videos. That is the skins not sitting properly on the spar assembly. So one of the things I've talked about before is once you realize that you've made a mistake, don't just forge on. Make sure that you ask some questions, or if you just have that doubt, do the right thing and make the correction. And this is me looking with my phone flashlight at where I'm at riveting so far and what I decide to do with it. So one of the things I've discovered is you have to know when you've made a mistake and stop before you go too far. Issue I'm having right now is that the dimples on the skins are not quite seating into the dimples of the ribs and the spars as well as I'd like to. And I'll grab the camera and try to show it the best I can what I'm referring to. But as I'm riveting the skins to the forward spar, it's just there's a small gap. So I've riveted a good portion of the right horizontal stabilizer to the forward spar already, and I started on this side, and I'm going to have to drill all of these rivets out and redo all the work I just did. But I think I'm going to try to remove the spar assembly and then countersink a little further into all of the holes on the spar and see if I can get the skins to sit a little better. Unfortunately, I think it's too much of a gap, and like I said, I'll try to show it with the camera here in a minute. And I don't feel that it would create a very solid connection. I think it would open the risk for vibrations to cause some of the rivets to shear in the future. So I'm going to redo it. I'm going to drill out all the rivets that I've put in and pull the assembly out and countersink a little deeper and see if that fixes the problem. And then also I think there is a dimpler that you can get that's slightly larger than a standard 40 dimpler to be able to dimple the frame a little bit deeper so the skins sit in there a little bit better. And I'll probably look into ordering that and see how fast I can get that. So anyway, I'll try to grab the camera and show you what I'm referring to.
So this is the gap that I'm referring to. I'm not sure how easily you can see it in this camera shot, but where the flange of the forward spar meets the skin there, it's got just a little bit of a gap. I mean, this one's actually probably one of the worst ones, and you can almost see the rivet between the skin and the flange of the spar on that very last rivet there. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. So you can see the gap right there, and you might be able to make out the gap there between the spar and the skin, and almost see the rivet in between. So that's got to get fixed. Like I said, I have a feeling that that's going to create issues in the future, and so that needs to be fixed. And so that's going to take removing the entire assembly, including drilling out all of the rivets there, plus drilling out the top rivets that you see there that's attaching everything to the forwards, the nose ribs, and countersinking these holes again on the web or on the flanges of the forward spar to try to make sure it sits in there more correctly. So that's what I'll be doing for the next little while.
Alright, so with all that being said, I've now fast forwarded to after I made the corrections. I think I lost the videos or forgot to push the record button, one of the two, when I made the corrections. So basically what I had done is I took my countersink cutter and just
cut the spars a little bit deeper than I normally would. Not a lot. It just to where instead of being exactly flush with a number 3 rivet, it's just slightly below flush, and that seemed to work. The skins sat in there a whole lot better. There's only 1 or 2 small areas where there's even a slight gap between the flange of the spar and the ribs and the skin. So overall, I was happy with how it worked out, and it was the right call to readdress the countersink holes. And there were a couple that were actually not quite deep enough. So it was definitely the issue, and it looks good now. So anyway, this is continuing to rivet the frame, and the instructions tell you specifically how to rivet it, what order. You start from the inside on the main spar and you work your way out. And where you're riveting the skins over the cap of the middle rib assembly, you use a size 3-4, and then I think where I'm at now, just as you get to the end of the cap piece, then you start using the 3-3.5s, and once you go all the way the length of the spar, then I think it has you work on the middle ribs, and you go basically where that second stand is from the bottom, where that rib is, you go up and then across toward the inside, I believe it was, across that other spar there. So it has specific directions on how you want to rivet this, and my assumption is that is to prevent pillowing, and just kind of work the skins smoothly as you go, I guess. So anyway, just follow the directions of the of the packet, and then it's a lot of holes, a lot of rivets. I can't imagine what it's going to be like when I get to the skins. That's a tremendous amount of rivets, but it was fun. It was an experience, and as you can see in the background, it's getting late. I think this is one of the days that I spent about 8 hours altogether getting this horizontal stabilizer done. But it came out, like I said, it came out well. I used just about every Cleco that I own for this. In fact, as I was going, you'll see me going back and forth between the left and right side of the horizontal stabilizer. As I take a rivet or a Cleco off of the side I'm riveting, I'll put it into a hole on the other side. Like I said, I Cleco just about every hole just to make sure that the skins were tight against the frame when I set the rivets. So overdid it, I'm sure. I probably could have done at least half as many Clecos and it would have been just as fine, but I just really wanted to make sure that it sat tight against the frame as I was riveting. So anyway, it turned out well, and like I said, as of right now, I've got the horizontal stabilizers complete. I'm working on the elevators at the moment, and those are a bit of an experience. So anyway, I'm going to let this video run out, and for those who continue to watch these videos, I appreciate it. It's entertaining for me to put these together, and I hope it's at least somewhat useful for anyone that's looking at building these on their own, or if you have a question on a particular step, hopefully it's something that I cover. So anyway, if you have a question or comment, leave it below, and if you could do me a favor and hit that like button, hopefully get more attention for those who might be interested in building their own RV.